You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey there, B&B fans. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and I've got your bold and the beautiful comings and goings updates. And you may know by now that Steffy Forrester is back. Jackie Wood's maternity leave is over, and I've got so much more news than that for you. But hey, if you haven't already, please reach down and click subscribe so you don't miss any of our B&B updates. Now let's jump right in. Steffy is back Thursday, November 2nd, and her kids are back with her. Kelly Spencer's the same, Sophia Paras McKinlay, and it's been a minute since we've seen Hayes Forrester Finnegan. The kid should be a little over 2 years old, but he's gotten a small sorus, soap opera rapid aging syndrome. Chase and Alexander Banks are playing the role. They look about 3-ish. It's hard for me to tell when they're that squishy and little. It's been a minute since mine was that little, so I'm going to say 3-ish. Also, Price is Right model Alexis Gaube, I hope I'm saying her name right, is back as part of the Fashion Showdown on Monday and Tuesday, October 30th and 31st. Those same days, we're also going to see a little more of Big Brother 24 winner Taylor Hale. She is walking the runway. She was also seen just for a hot minute last week. The thing I really want to talk about, though, is where is Taylor Hayes? Why isn't she back with Steffy and the kids? Fans suspected that Krista Allen had been axed from the CBS soap opera because we hadn't seen her for quite a while, and then there was talk, and then she showed up for like 2 tiny episodes the end of September, and the last time we saw her was October 3rd, and it's nearly November. It'll be a month that we've seen her once we hit Friday. So several weeks back, CBS Daytime responded to fan outrage and suspicion that they had just ousted Taylor, and they came out and they said Krista is still on contract. That's interesting wording, and it was true at the time, but that may not be the whole of the situation, because let's remember, Krista Allen debuted as Taylor in December of 2021. I suspect on a 2-year contract, or it was a year and then they renewed her for a year. Either way, she is probably up for renewal in December of 2023. I am very curious if Bold and the Beautiful is going to come out and say that they renewed with Krista, or if they're not going to renew and silently drop her to recurring or off the show altogether. I mean, they've got Ridge and Brooke happily together, getting lots of screen time, so there's really not room for Taylor in that mix, and I wouldn't want her back in that mix, frankly. And of course, Thomas and Hope are on the front burner, as is Eric Forster's tragic storyline. We have Liam trying to bust into Steffy and Finn's marriage, and Lee and Sheila at odds with Deacon, trying to make Sheila a better person. With all that going on the front burner, and just 19 minutes of story time in each episode, it just doesn't seem like that they're making room for Krista Allen or, by the way, Don Diamont. However, I am happy to report that Bill Spencer is back next week. He's got scenes with Liam Spencer, and of course, they'll be talking about Steffy and all of Liam's recent antics as his son makes a confession. Let's be real, his son probably has about 8 things to confess to his dad, including, kissing someone else's wife and, blatantly trying to steal her. But Bill's done that. Heck, he's done it to Liam. So he's the perfect person to bounce all this off of. But I have no spoilers for the next 2 weeks for Taylor, and none in the wings that I recall for Sweep. So I am really wondering if they are in the process of silently exiting her. They just did it to Darren Brooks. He was MIA and then announced his own departure, an end to Wyatt Spencer after, a decade of playing him, a little more than a decade. The way that Bold exits people with no fanfare and no explanation, I personally feel it's disrespectful to the actors. And to the fans that get attached to these characters, they want us to get attached to them because they want us to keep watching. And then do they think we don't notice? It's insulting to our intelligence. You know, Rena Sofer was shown the door, and I know they gave her like a little goodbye party on set, but from a fan perspective, we just heard Quinn Fuller had lunch with Carter and then left town. That was it. We didn't even get to see, we didn't even know it was her last episode till way after the fact. That's the exact same thing they just did with Darren Brooks as Wyatt. And I'm wondering if we're going to get an explanation about Wyatt. There's some tabloid fake news saying Darren Brooks is headed to Young the Restless. For the record, there is nothing that's official about that. That is just rampant speculation for clicks. At the same time, I would love to see Darren Brooks over on Y&R, but that cast is pretty crowded already if you watch that show. So again, that's just clickbait stuff. There is no legs to that. So we also have Diamond White and Delon Demetz back for the Fashion Showdown as Zende and Paris. And Ashley Jones is back as Bridget Forrester, and she is slated to be at the Showdown as well. So it looks like Eric Forrester makes it through the challenge okay. The actor had mentioned Eric might collapse, but it seems he's fine. And then he has to face the music because next week RJ blabs his prognosis to Brooke, who of course runs to Ridge and blabs it to him, of course. So I suspect Bridget is back to be part of the conversation about her father's diagnosis. I hope she is, because she should be front and center for that, and this 6 months or less death sentence that he has is perfect for her to step in as a doctor. Let's hope she goes back and takes a look at his test results and figures out he was misdiagnosed. Fingers crossed. So I don't think Paris or Zende will stick around, or Dick Christie as Charlie Weber. We don't see him a lot. We've seen him a lot more with the Fashion Showdown. I think when that winds down, Charlie's going to slide back into the background. That's okay. They keep these people out of the way and then they trot them out for certain occasions, but we don't see them regularly, and none of them have storylines of their own. And in particular, to see, minority actors backburnered, I don't like it. So, but that's what CBS is doing. For now, we do not know if and when we'll see the last of John McCook as Eric Forrester. We've been told he's dying and the actor may be retiring, or this may be a bait and switch and B&B will come out and realize it's treatable or he was misdiagnosed. I'm going to say this one more time because I keep seeing in the comments, John McCook has not signed a new contract. There's no three-year deal. 100% fake news. If you want to hear more, look back at one of my older videos on him, because I'm not going to keep dredging this, but I will say for those who don't listen, no one knows his contract status. He could 100% be leaving. I hope not, but we just don't know. So lean in, enjoy this story. Let yourself be sad about Eric's health condition. Let yourself be sad about the fact that John McCook may be retiring. Just roll with it. That's what I'm doing. All right. I do have one last thing for you, but if you haven't already, please reach down, click subscribe so you don't miss any of our updates. Definitely click a like, drop your comments on what you're excited about this casting news. And just one last quick thing. An Australian fan of our channel asked me to mention a tragedy, and so I'm going to do that. They asked me to talk about the tragic death of Matthew Perry. Most of us knew him as Chandler from Friends. The actor was just 54, but if you know anything about him, during and after Friends in his personal life, he had a long struggle and a few past near-death experiences from his battle with opioids. He had a jet ski accident in 1997 and was given painkillers for that. He got addicted, as people do, and he wound up at one point with a 55-a-day pill habit. He talked about it in the memoir he published, I don't know if it was last year or earlier this year, when he talked about his struggles. He had several past near-death experiences from his battle with opioids. He's been in a coma. His colon exploded and he had to have all this surgery. He's had like 9 stomach surgeries as a result of the opioid issue. So Matthew Perry was found unresponsive in his hot tub at his home in California. The police reported it as a water-related death, no foul play suspected, and they said that it would likely be a long time before any cause of death is released. But it is definitely the end of an era. It's sad news, and our hearts here, break for his friends and family. Another soul lost too young. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for talking soaps with me. And come back soon for more on Bold and the Beautiful. This has been Belinda from Soap Dirt.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.